Hey guys, welcome to the Dish Pit Podcast. This is episode, I don't know.
60?
Jordan always knows.
I think it's 6. No, I think we're on 60.
Are we on 60? No, last week was 58.
Man, time flies.
Hey guys, welcome back. Dish Pit Podcast.
58 or 59 or 60, one of the three. I think it's 59 or 60.
Don't rely on us to keep count of these things.
Let's look at the number on the episode you clicked.
Amen to that.
What we're going to do is we're all going to guess what episode we're on, and the furthest away from the answer has to take double shots.
How are we going to do that right now?
58,
we're all on relatively. I'm not taking double shots.
I think I'm just going to take the one shot.
I think the double shots should be enacted next episode when we know the answer.
All right, well then you got to remember this, okay? Because he's
going to forget.
He's going to forget.
But no one's going to wimp out and say, I'm not taking double shots next week, right?
But I know that this is episode 59.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He knows.
Okay.
I'm the one that uploads them.
You ruined our guest now.
That's our host, Jordan. I'm your co-host, Michael.
I'm Jay Fandango.
For sure not taking double shots.
This is 59.
It's your boy coming at you with that big dick energy.
Oh,
your boy G-Von.
Oh,
G-Von. No one listened to this man.
On the smooth ones and twos, it is the Crow, El Cuervo.
That should be your intro on the ones and twos.
Forever now.
Even though you're not our DJ.
In fact, that's all you have to say during the podcast.
On the ones and twos.
On the ones and twos.
No, just say ones and twos, literally. Two. They're like, he agrees.
I don't know, man. One.
Cheers,
one
guys.
is, I disagree.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, cheers,
to
cheers.
our core group.
Prost.
Pussy minion.
This is our core group. This is what we got, man. I'm happy. It's 2021.
Did I drink?
This is the third podcast of the new year, Michael.
It's great.
Did we
good.
even... Did we talk about New Year's resolutions this year?
I don't think so.
Do we got to do those?
We hadn't really done an episode since Christmas.
No, what are you talking about?
We've done at least 2.
We did an episode last week, and we did... Yeah, that was. I think that was the first episode.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
I think we skipped a week.
We did.
That first week.
The first week we skipped.
And we're in the third week. Actually, we're in the fourth week now.
Well, y'all are
we
lucky
skip
that
2
you got
weeks?
2 from this month.
I think we got
only
3.
skipped 1 week.
We'll see. I don't remember. I'm very sporadic with my podcast uploads.
Couldn't even.
I'm gonna get better at it. I promise.
No, you're doing a great job, bro.
It's a lot of little.
Hopefully,
stuff.
sometime soon we'll have some new content for you guys.
Hey,
too.
Right.
Don't worry, guys. It's coming.
We've been saying that for a year, but it's okay. That's the process, you know. With creatives, it always takes a while.
I agree. The process. Everybody always talks about the process, and no one understands what the process really is, you know? So now we're allowing them to actually view the process as
Michael,
it
what are you
breaks
talking about,
the
sir?
process, bro.
If you say
The
process one
creative
more time,
process.
I'm gonna fucking lose
But
my
yeah,
mind.
that's the whole thing. Like behind the scenes, a new perspective for a show you normally watch.
Yeah.
Like they have the Mandalorian things.
Oh, yeah.
outside
Yeah,
of
The round
the
table.
gallery,
I
the
follow
round
you.
table. You
They're
follow
trying
me.
to
You follow
promote
me. See, Mark follows.
I understand there is and I feel like I shouldn't say it anymore because when you say a
Say
word
it.
so many times, it starts to lose meaning.
You mean the word process?
The word process.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
You could say it as
The
process.
word. Yeah, I was gonna say the word process.
I knew you were going there because Jordan's a smart guy.
Process.
The process. Like, I don't say advertisement, I say advertisement.
Advertisement.
That's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
That's in Old English.
Because I
Not
don't
Old
say
English, just like
aluminum.
traditional.
I say aluminium.
No, you don't.
Yes, he does. I've heard him say that
How do
before.
you know this? Have you ever heard me say the word aluminium before?
I have.
No, but you just said
When-
aluminum before that.
Because I know that is
But
Commonly
medium, there is no
pronounced- common
that's
pronunciation.
A common pronunciation
It
of
is
the
the-
word.
It's just like how I refer to Ben Affleck as Ben Affleck.
All right. What about
Absolutely.
Coliseum?
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
No one says it that way.
That's the way
No
it's
one
pronounced.
says aluminium.
Actually, they say it that way in England.
Who's they?
Anyone
In England?
Anyone
In the United
who's
Kingdom.
English.
Bro,
But
I've never heard a
pronunciation
British
and
person say
enunciation
aluminium.
is major in Queen's English as opposed to English.
You talking about like English in Queens, New York?
Queen's English is
I'm just saying it doesn't sound right. There is no
I know what you're saying.
niminium, I don't even.
Aluminium.
That's
Aluminum.
how the British
That's how a
say
scholar
it.
That's
would-
how the British
That's
say
like
it.
how
I'm
they
going
say
to
it.
get some fucking aluminum right now.
I'm with
Aluminum. Aluminum.
I understand how the
You're
word.
not saying it right.
I understand how the word is spelled. I'm
You're
saying.
not saying it the way it's spelled.
Listen, if the British can say it and they speak the Queen's English,
We're not
then I
Britain.
can say it. All right. Hey, how come people say tomato? Then?
Do you say fucking bangers and mash instead of fucking goddamn sauce?
Occasionally.
No, you don't.
I say fish and chips.
I'm with you, G. And this is
Fish and chips is a
this
dish,
is what's
though.
gonna end an argument. This is what's gonna end it.
Here we go.
Just like ass has two S's and the same meaning as arse,
That's why
which
you
is
say
a
the long
person's
S.
buttocks.
Ass.
You can
not
pronounce
ass.
it
What the fuck is wrong?
both ways.
We're not
I believe.
taking English right now.
I'm with you, G.
No, I get it. Potato and potato, that is a thing.
Pronunciation.
Tomato,
Enunciation.
tomato.
So is
right?
adverti-
Not aluminum.
That's how they say it. sir.
Aluminium.
Listen, I
You're
didn't
adding
come
a
up-
consonant.
I didn't come up.
Not a
it's
consonant,
vowel, yeah. But I
no,
didn't come
syllable.
up.
Syllable. You're adding a syllable to the word.
I didn't come up with the saying, bro. I didn't come up with
So is
the
advertisement.
phonetics.
You've adopted it,
I've adopted it. Yes.
so you follow their ways.
adopted the darkness.
He's like, this is their way.
So you follow their ways. Then
Yes, I do.
you are the enemy.
No, no.
Sorry, I've been reading too much Doom. God, that book is so good. How was a book? If you read this,
No, I
this
agree.
book is written in the '60s.
Wait,
Yeah.
which book?
Dune.
Dune.
Oh yeah, I gotta
So
get
good.
on that.
No, you do.
Yeah, I gotta
Especially if you love Star Wars, which, by the way, you want me to get my Star
I
Wars
think if you
bullshit
like
out of the
Star
way
Wars
right now?
novels, you'll like it too.
All right,
'cause
go ahead and let's get the Star
wanna
Wars
get my
out
Star
of the
Wars
way.
bullshit?
There's always Star Wars news, bro.
I have
I'm
just two
sorry.
things. I have two things that I like.
Star Wars update.
Two things. Star Wars update. It's just like for me. Like yesterday, I learned why Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is actually green,
Why?
and has nothing to do with what type of force wielder that he
All right,
is.
so I always thought that his lightsaber was green because he was given his.
No, he
was given his
a red
father's
one, right?
old
Is it the
lightsaber.
red one? No, that's not canon.
No, it has nothing to do with canon.
He has a blue one, but he lost it on Bespin.
Yeah, he lost it on Bespin. He had Anakin's lightsaber.
Anakin's was blue.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
His original lightsaber.
The
was
original
blue.
lightsaber was blue that he was gifted
When he
by,
was a Padawan, it was green.
Yeah,
By
when he was a
Obi-Wan.
Padawan.
by Obi-Wan. When Anakin was a Padawan, it was green. But his Jedi Knight lightsaber, the one that Obi-Wan gifts him in Episode 4, is blue. But he loses it when he loses his hand by Vader in Bespin on Empire Strikes Back. And he constructs a new lightsaber before Return of the Jedi. But there's a reason that has nothing to do with canon and nothing to do with lore why his lightsaber is green.
Because it looks better on camera.
Because at the very beginning of Return of the Jedi, when his lightsaber comes out, what's the background? Desert
Sand
sand,
and blue.
and blue sky.
Because if you have a blue lightsaber, it's not gonna look good on
It's
film.
not going to look good on film. So George Lucas decided to change it to green.
And that's why Mace Windu's lightsaber was purple, because Samuel Jackson wanted to be seen in Episode 2. Out of all those hundreds of Jedi in the Coliseum, he wanted to be seen.
Correct. He wanted
He's
to
the only one
stand
with a
out.
purple blade.
He's the only Jedi in history with a purple blade.
And now it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that he's different from other Jedi.
Yeah, and they retcon the
Well,
lore.
you don't know that. They may go Old Republic. There are people with purple blades in the Old Republic.
There are people with purple blades in the Old Republic.
What about
you'd have
yellow
to
blades? Because I found
Yellow
out
blades are
today
like,
that
Centuries.
The bobblehead dude. The bobblehead dude, you know who I'm talking about.
You should
He
remember
had
his name.
Bruh.
You had his name pulled
Yeah.
up.
Tariel Poof.
Yariel.
Yariel.
Was it
Poof.
Yariel? Poof.
I thought it was Tariel.
The guy with the long
Yariel.
neck
Yes.
and the
and the
little small
bobblehead.
head.
Yeah,
Yes.
I call it a bobblehead
Yes.
because it's like a.
He got
thing.
that
Did you
little
see the robot
foot head.
chicken skit with him?
No.
Dog.
It's great.
Holy fuck. The robot chicken, like, Star Wars skits are some of the funniest shit I've ever
They
seen
are
in
the
my life.
best.
I love the
Absolute.
Boba Fett ones. Like, I'm gonna show you. Like, we got.
Have y'all seen the robot chicken Dragon Ball Z ones too?
Yes.
Bro, those
actually
things are
haven't.
hilarious.
They
to
are
me.
funny. But yeah,
I've actually
so
stopped watching Robot Chicken.
I haven't. I only watch them when they
been
come up in my
years.
feed. But yeah, so that was the first thing. I learned that yesterday. It was like today I found out, why Luke's lightsaber is actually green. Also, I posted in the group chat because it was a very sad moment yesterday, but I watched Return of the Jedi again, and it was the third time this week. It all happens because it was like Empire was on. I was on Disney Plus, and it was like halfway watched, and I'm like, I'll watch the last part of Empire Strikes Back, and then after I watched
No
it,
problem, sir.
I couldn't
help yourself.
couldn't help myself. I had to watch Return. So I'm watching it, and I figured out while watching it, because the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I am not at peace with it because I'm like, what could you possibly make an Obi-Wan Kenobi series out of? You already have
You have the book.
you have the book, but you also have you also know how things happen, like from the Rebels series. He fights Darth Maul. like certain things happened. And
There's
I'm
like a whole 15 years though.
Yeah, there is, and I know that they casted Hayden Christensen in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series to reprise Vader or Anakin. Or we don't know yet.
Love him.
So,
Jumper's one of my favorite movies.
I did enjoy Jumper.
I did too.
American Heist is
American
good too.
Heist is great.
Yeah.
But I was like wondering, what could possibly be the content? Like, what could Dave Filoni? If I'm Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau, what am I going off of? And there's a line in Return of the Jedi that just went poof to me. It's whenever Luke gives himself up to Vader. All right, on the Forest Moon of Endor. You know, he gives him his lightsaber. Vader's like, "You've constructed a new lightsaber." Da 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 da. And then he's like,
Your skills are complete.
Your skills are now complete. And then he's like, "Father," and he's like, "Oh, so you accepted?" And he's like, "I've accepted that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father." And then Vader turns away after he tells him the line about the lightsaber and that your skills are now complete. But Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought, because Luke says, "I know that you can be turned back. I know I can take you back to the light side." And then Vader says, "Obi-Wan once thought as you do." So that implies, because the only other time you see Vader confront Obi-Wan is Revenge of the Sith or A New Hope, where he gives himself up.
Yeah.
So the fact that he says Obi-Wan once thought as you do
Maybe they fought before.
implies that they've met before, maybe once, maybe several times.
Sometime,
and Obi-Wan,
sometime in that long gap,
in that 15-year gap, that Obi-Wan, even though exiled and watching over Luke, maybe has to protect Luke by distracting Vader. And as a Jedi, you're going to confront...
So he leaves Tatooine, you think?
I think he would, to confront Vader to protect Luke. If Vader's on his trail.
Does that mean he
But-
went
but-
in search?
No, I don't...
Vader didn't know he had a son until Empire.
Exactly, but
Or-
Obi-Wan...
No, A New Hope, right? When
Yeah,
he-
until A New Hope. No,
No, it was Empire.
it was
my bad.
Empire. It was Empire. And what I'm saying is, Obi-Wan knows Vader doesn't know where Luke is, but if Vader starts sniffing too close to the Outer Rim, which he definitely was there, according to the comic books, because he goes back to Mustafar, and that's where his fucking
Castle.
his castle is, you know. So he's out there in the Outer Rim. Don't you think Obi-Wan would try to protect Luke without letting Vader know where Luke was? Either way, that direct line insinuates that Vader and Obi-Wan have met before A New Hope,
crossed paths.
between and after Revenge of the Sith. So
makes sense.
that line alone was like, if I was Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau, I'm like, we can take a story and then build it up to this moment.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
And so it was crazy because it's like the 1,000th time I've watched Return of the Jedi.
So
and that
basically,
scene.
what you're saying is there's
But the
potentially a
man-
whole nother movie in between the
Or they
fifth
could-
and sixth
the show.
movie.
They could just do the show.
Oh, they could do it.
They could
that's-
just do the show.
Mandalorian gives context to a lot of things.
Correct.
I hope-
And there's possibility. There's no true, like, definitive saying that they're gonna, like, retcon the sequel trilogy, but there is talks of use of the world between worlds, and we do know that going into the world between worlds can change the future.
Correct.
And
Just like Ahsoka survives.
and all this happens before the sequel trilogy happens.
Yeah.
Because the sequel trilogy happens 19 years after Return of the Jedi, correct?
Correct.
Or is it
No.
longer?
No, it's longer. It
How old
happens-
is Ben?
Ben Solo?
Yeah.
He's 19 at the beginning of the sequel trilogy.
So then it had been it had been around 20 years.
Ben Solo's not born until 10 years after the Return of the Jedi.
So it had been like 25 years. It
yes.
had been 25 years, I
Yeah.
think.
Ben Solo's not
Almost
born.
30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's a 30-year gap.
So, in our timeline of The Mandalorian, with Ahsoka and Luke being possible, they could go into the world between worlds and prevent the terrible outcome from happening. You know, Han Solo dying, Luke dying the way he did.
Jordan and I had a
okay,
long
so-
conversation about this, and this is why it's true. And I don't want to fucking spoil The Mandalorian for you, Gene.
Then
I
don't,
don't.
because he's
I'm like 3 episodes away.
I'm not
So
spoiling
just
anything.
No,
for
no,
him.
no. I just don't. I just want.
I was under the impression that The Mandalorian happens after the sequel trilogy.
No. 5 years
Mandalorian-
after Return of the Jedi.
That's why. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah. 5 years after Return of the Jedi. That's why there's still Imperial
almost said it.
remnants,
Right.
but it's not the First Order. This is before
It's
the
still the
First
Empire.
Order.
It's still the Empire.
Okay.
The Emperor's
Empire-
dead, and the Empire's trying to survive.
Is he dead though?
So think about that. The Empire's not around in the sequel trilogy. It's the First Order. Where's the Empire? What happened to them?
So the books actually explain it. Aftermath. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah. The books. Well, no. The books just talk about
but that's directly after, right?
the books happen directly after. Aftermath is directly after the Battle of Endor, and to the Battle of Jakku.
Exactly. Okay.
So the Battle of Jakku, where Rey is from, is where the final battle, where the final death throes of
Where
the
she was
Empire
left,
happens. But this is before Rey's even
Not
born.
before?
Does that happen after Mando?
No, it
It's
happens
before
before Mando.
Okay.
So Mando. So that's why the Empire's in shambles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because within 3 years after the fall of the Emperor, the Battle of Jakku happens, and at the culmination of the battle, the Alliance, they're not the rebellion at that time, they're the New Republic, the New Alliance, is still battling the Empire remnants, and they've all gathered above Jakku, and they're losing. And so it looks like the Empire is gonna fucking come back.
Stuff is literally falling from the sky.
And then guess who shows up? Luke.
Yeah.
And it's because he's on a quest to find Jedi artifacts.
book is
and
that?
Sith artifact. Aftermath.
I'm gonna have to read that.
You have to. And he crashes. He takes a Star Destroyer.
Your mic cords.
The books are actually canon.
Yes, the books are canon.
There are certain books that are and aren't canon. If it says Disney on it now, it's
What
canon.
artifact was he looking for?
He's looking for the original Jedi texts and any type of holocrons
The holocron,
that were sealed by the Sith. So basically, he's going from planet and system to system and finding where the Emperor gathered all these caches of holocrons.
Tons
and
of
Jedi.
places.
Tons of places.
Because he had been doing that even before he took over as Emperor.
Yeah, while he
When
was Chancellor, he was just...
He had been a Sith for 60 years by then, in secret. He had been an apprentice since he was like 18.
That's why he's the only...
Palpatine.
Yes.
Okay, so I say this because we now know he wasn't dead until the last issue, right?
Until the Rise of Skywalker. Right?
Yeah.
But there's a theory behind that, too. And it has to do with the World Between Worlds.
And that's why
How do you think he lived?
that's
And
kind of
how did he get to the unknown
Exegol.
region?
Yeah.
that's why I want to see how they
You got to watch Star Wars
incorporate
Rebels. You have to watch Rebels.
the connection in the Force.
Well, what
The World Between Worlds, that's what it is. Like, you use that to... the theory is that he used that to teleport to Exegol in his last, like... That's what that explosion was, right?
and that's why he's like he didn't hit the reactor. That's why he's like constantly decaying, because he used all of his dark side energy to
transport
get there, because you
He
need a
can't heal.
holocron to get there.
Darksiders can't heal.
Darksiders can't heal.
The holocron is that little triangle,
Yes.
the pyramid.
Ezra Bridger discovers the world between worlds.
So a Jedi holocron is going to be a square. And a Sith is a pyramid.
So it's a Jedi holocron that Ezra Bridger finds on his home world, and he ends up discovering the world between worlds in Star Wars Rebels, which is canon. Now,
Still haven't seen it.
It's pretty
Have
good.
you seen it?
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
Y'all haven't even seen Clone Wars.
Clone
Wars is
seen-
first.
I've seen
Clone Wars
The
is
end-
all
alright,
of it?
well, I'm
all
gonna-
7 seasons?
I'll spoil it
Season
for
two.
y'all because I don't like. You need to know this, but at the end of season 2, Ahsoka, who finally reveals herself as Ahsoka Tano, because she goes by Fulcrum. She finally learns that Darth Vader is Anakin, because she thought that Anakin dies in Order 66. She didn't know Vader, who's been around killing Jedi, was Anakin, and she finds out, and it breaks her heart, and she has to do what a Jedi does, even though she's not, but confronts her master, a Sith Lord. So she confronts Vader, and last you see from season 2 is Ezra Bridger, who is a Jedi Padawan. He's probably a Jedi at this point. He's being trained by one of my favorite Jedi masters,
Kanan
Jarrus.
I like him because he's not like your traditional Jedi from like 1, 2, and 3.
He doesn't want to be a Jedi master. He's exiled. He wants to blend in. This is when the Empire is hunting them down.
He keeps his lightsaber in 2 separate parts. You can't really even tell it's a lightsaber because it's on the back of his...
He makes Ezra build a lightsaber out of a
No,
fucking...
Ezra chose to do that.
Ezra chose to do that.
Ezra's
That's right.
lightsaber has a blaster and a lightsaber. So he blasts people
That's right.
with these little electro bolts.
That
and
come
then-
from the energy of his lightsaber.
It's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I can only picture, like, I don't know how familiar y'all are with Soul Calibur.
Yes.
You know
yes.
Cervantes? He's
It's
got that
kind of-
sword
yeah.
that's like gun too. Yeah.
Yeah, but the sword itself is a gun. What it is the handle, the hilt. It's like
hilt.
it's kind of square. It's not too big, but it has like a little blaster. And
Yeah, it looks like a rapier.
It's dope.
Hilt, but it has a little blaster coming out.
Here,
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna pull it
so
up.
Ezra sees Ahsoka battling Vader, tries to rescue her. The temple is caving in on itself. Ahsoka uses the Force and pushes him out, so he has to escape. That's the last you see of Ahsoka Tano. Until the finale of Rebels in Season 4, where Ezra finally discovers the world between worlds. And then while he's there, he sees Ahsoka's spirit animal. He sees Ahsoka's spirit animal, which is an owl. And you have to watch Rebels to figure out why the owl is important and why it follows her. But she owes that spirit her life. But he sees it sitting over this portal. And then as he looks in the portal, he sees Ahsoka fighting Vader. And then he sees her push him away. And then he sees the ending of the fight, and she's going to lose. And so Ahsoka knows that she's going to lose, so she plunges her lightsabers into the ground of the temple. And everything's falling apart, and then Vader's giving the death blow, and he reaches in and pulls her out
Of what?
of that world,
confrontation.
of
Pulls
that
her-
confrontation.
pulls her
out.
He reaches
Ezra.
through the portal.
Oh, wow.
Ezra reaches through the portal and pulls her out. So now there's a 2-year difference because it's been 2.5 years since they've seen each other. So Ezra's older, and she recognizes him. And she's like, "What's going on? What happened?" And he's like, "I just saved you from Vader." By him doing that, changes the timeline.
Of course, because time is relative to distance.
Either way, no, it's not that. It's like Ahsoka's supposed to die. Ahsoka Tano in the Star Wars sequel movies that you have watched, she's dead. And if Ahsoka Tano dies,
Grogu, right?
Grogu doesn't.
Damn it, we can't spoil it
So
for G.
she's from
Yes.
a different. She's from
Grogu
an
doesn't do
alternate reality.
something.
She's
that
from a
needs to
different
happen.
timeline.
Yeah.
Right.
She's
okay.
from a different timeline.
It'll be.
That explains a lot
I don't spoil easy.
about how she interprets things because.
Correct. Now she's given a gift.
Yeah.
She knows that she's.
She would
shouldn't be
initially
alive.
walk
She
away
shouldn't
from
be
the
alive.
path of the Jedi, but because she's come back, she realizes this is the right thing to do, even when
She's going to handle
She
her
was willing to
agenda.
against it.
She's going after.
She's still gonna make sure. No, she's not a Jedi.
She's
but
not a Jedi.
She
I
knows what's
completely
right.
understand- Exactly.
She knows what's right.
So she feels obligated to do the right thing, even if it is something the Jedi.
She's the best vigilante you could fucking ask for.
Bro,
Tommy
season
said it.
7 is really good for her
Oh, so good.
because she's on the run
Is
basically.
Rebels on Plus?
Rebels
Yes.
is
Yeah, bro.
on Plus.
Rebels is on
Anything
Plus.
Star Wars is on Plus.
At least, like, because what I did was I didn't understand like fully, and I've watched Rebels through, but I didn't really wasn't really paying attention. I knew how important Ahsoka's character was, and it's Dave Filoni creating
We
all
didn't
this,
know how
right?
important she was gonna be.
I didn't know how important she was going to be. So what I did was I rewatched. I went and looked up the episodes with Ahsoka. So that's why I know at the end of season 2, end of season 4, like, watch that shit. Like, and then after you've finished The Mandalorian, of course, and then you'll understand that the timeline has changed. So now technically we can have 2 different timelines. We could have timeline with Ahsoka and then without Ahsoka.
Timeline with Ahsoka is a sequel trilogy and any other garbage that Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson want to make. And the other is the awesome one with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and George Lucas, which
If anyone,
is the
if anyone
obvious...
didn't catch that, that was Shade Throne.
Okay, do you want Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, who was an assistant, and Steven Spielberg went on record to say that Kathleen Kennedy was only good at making coffee and interrupting people? You want her and Ryan Johnson to run the Star Wars universe, or George Lucas, the creator, Dave Filoni, his spiritual successor, and Jon Favreau, the reason why the MCU got started? Also, Chef?
Yes.
Yeah, Chef.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come
great.
on.
Let's be real, guys. I'm
John
sorry.
Favreau has always, like, even from back when he was like,
I wish he was
Ultimate
my
Fighting
dad.
champion in fucking Friends, bro. Like,
I wish-
even back then I liked him.
I wish he was my friend. Not my friend, my dad.
I wish he was my friend. Fuck it, like,
Friend, whatever. Dad. I want him to adopt me.
I wish Dave Filoni
obviously he couldn't
was
be my dad.
It
Why
would've
not?
had
You're
to-
light skinned.
It would have had to been
fair
like
enough,
Will
fair
Smith,
You could-
Jamie Foxx.
You could
I
pass.
can pull it off.
You can pass. We're all inclusive here.
hate you, bro.
I'm going
But no,
for Will Smith.
It's good to have to interbreed, as they say, like with other races. That's how you keep the human race strong. Is having kids with other races. Like
That's the path we're headed down, bro.
Which
It's
is
called
good.
it's called unifying.
we all need to have olive skin, basically. That's
I
all we
wish
need.
The whole world eventually is
Eventually.
gonna end up like Bruno Mars, bro.
Knowing what I know now, I wish
We're all gonna look
I
like
had
Spartans.
impregnated someone of another race. I mean, my kids look gorgeous. They have amazing mothers, you know, in their own right, and they're doing their own thing. But I wish I'd met someone of another nationality that was like, you're hot enough to have a baby with, and did that.
It's kind of like so nobody in another nationality thought that. Or
Well, at
what?
least the people you've had
I
kids
did.
with, you're not currently in a
Oh, you
relationship
did.
I
with.
currently was like, oh, black, don't crack, and black, all that. And
I know.
Didn't even leave my imprint on another culture in order for my line.
I'm the same way with Hispanic
Bro, you're
chicks,
only
bro.
30, bro.
Straight up.
You can have a kid when you're like 45.
You can have a kid when you're 99. You're a man.
Right? That's how it works. Like
how it
with
works.
barons and shit, they just keep spitting out kids, and they're like, "That one's not good enough." Next one.
Snuff it.
No, don't kill him. He's just gonna
Nah.
be like a porridge pourer or some
Ragnar
shit.
would have left that mug out in the cold.
But we're not Vikings, okay? We still get use out of
Mark,
every.
your phone looks like it's from 1999 with that fucking huge thing stuck to it.
Yeah.
He's got this huge ass battery like suction cup to
All right,
it.
so we're done with Star Wars.
Yeah,
talk,
we done,
guys.
yeah.
What did you want to talk about? Your glasses are a little cocked.
Oh,
There you go.
thanks. I actually thought about this while you were talking about Star Wars.
Oh,
You mentioned something about an owl or a spirit animal.
Spirit animal hanging out.
What would y'all's spirit animal be?
oh, that's a good question.
It would be a horse.
You would be a horse?
A stallion.
I have a bunch of background with the
Not me.
equine.
I wouldn't be a stallion.
It would be a female horse. The pretty ones.
Do me last. I'm gonna think.
Spirit animal. Spirit.
I like to run, like physically. Like if we were
Physically like to
exercising,
run.
I don't want to do the treadmill. I want to
You should put that in your dating
Foot to
profile.
pavement.
I physically like to run.
play soccer. So like, I like running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I eat and
Like
drink
running.
as I please when I want. You know, you can lead a horse to walk.
Do you run to? Do you just run randomly? You're just like randomly
go-
burst out.
I have those short bursts where I feel like I can do it, but not anymore. I don't run. It's
too old.
You
Yeah,
feel like
I'm 30.
you can't run
too
anymore?
old.
The
to
last
run.
time I seen you run was a couple of years ago. You had a hoagie in your pocket and you was running out of fucking HEB
And
like,
that stride
y'all
was-
ain't gonna catch me.
Tell them about that. Tell them about that stride.
You get one of them Antons in your pocket.
That shit was hilarious.
Before I was the gentleman you see before you, I was stealing sandwiches out of HEB.
Bro, was
You
gone.
too can live the American
It
dream.
was years ago, guys. I did mention that. It was years ago. But that shit was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh, does it have to be like a real animal?
Technically.
No, technically no.
Dragon.
Doesn't.
Coco.
I was. What?
The dog had wings, and it was ridiculous.
Anyway, I would like.
I hate you, Mark. The dog had wings.
I don't know, honestly.
Man,
What would you choose?
I've always associated myself with an owl, bro. Like, and that's what I thought was so interesting about what he was talking about.
Yeah.
If you go to my house, there's like owls everywhere. Like, fucking love owls. So,
I
You
guess
know
it
what?
was like some type of cat because they're inquisitive, curious.
And also selfish and self-absorbed, and they can.
But you ponder from afar a lot of things. I can tell.
I think there are other animals that do that.
I said some.
I'm a
type of cat.
capybara, or whatever.
okay.
Capybara, that's what they're called, right? Capybara.
I would have said like
Cool
I would have said
No, no,
something
no.
a little
A
more
red panda.
stoic, like an elk.
A red panda.
What's a red panda?
Yeah, a red panda. I've never seen one of those.
Or
Look it
her-
up.
That's a bear.
That's a
I'm pretty sure that's.
I
a
say
bear.
red panda because I'm
brown bear. That's one of them. That's a bear.
Look, man, I swear.
Question:
That's a bear.
what bear is best?
Black bear.
I say polar bear, man.
They're dying.
Wrong. Brown bear.
Brown bear. I'm down for brown bear.
Brown bear.
Polar bears are pretty vicious too.
They are. You don't fuck around with those things. And
Bro.
They don't look like they.
What?
They don't look like you would expect them to look.
oh, let me see. Oh, cool.
That's
Badass.
that's an interesting.
I like
that's a good choice. Yeah,
But-
that's cool.
But do you know about that animal? Like, what does it do? Like,
Yeah,
how,
they're
in its
just-
habitat?
I
Is it
mean-
like a fucking fox?
That's a fox.
It's not a fox.
it looks like foxish.
No, but they wouldn't.
Like,
They wouldn't call it a red
pretty-
panda if it wasn't related to him. Like, what's his?
Pandas don't have tails.
Everybody has a tail. You have a
Pandas
tail.
don't have foot long tails.
What is its a fucking scientific name? Does it say?
Yeah, what species is it?
Yeah, what's its gene?
Ilurus fulgens is what it's
Ilurus
called.
fulgens. Then look up a
See, I
panda.
have no clue.
If it says anything,
It's a
like,
mammal.
well, there, yeah, everybody.
Everybody's a mammal? No, that's not true.
No, but like all
Everything
those
is not a mammal.
All
Michael.
those types
there's
of animals.
insects, there's turtles.
Those are called amphibians.
Yeah, but those aren't mammals, right?
No,
So
I
that's what
didn't say.
that was the
I
point.
meant like every
Trying to make me seem
marsupial.
stupid in front of
No,
everybody?
Every marsupial is a mammal.
That's not a marsupial.
What's a marsupial?
A koala.
Kangaroo.
Yes. I was.
Snake. You're just gonna name something random.
I wasn't gonna know. I was
You're
thinking.
He was naming marsupials.
I named koala first, so that was right. Then he said,
Kangaroo,
and
which
then
is
you
correct.
said nothing, so that proves you don't know.
No,
one.
you said snake.
You did. You said
Oh, you
A
did say
reptile.
I know that it's a reptile.
No, I think that's actually okay. What else is a marsupial? I'm trying to think.
Wasn't there a cartoon called Marsupial?
No, never in the history.
Man, there was a whole marsupials cartoon.
I think you're thinking of Zaboomafoo.
And that was about.
I think he's a marsupial, a lemur.
No, it was about a lemur.
Lemur, yeah.
They're marsupials, right?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
marsupials.
Yes. Yes. There we go. Jordan wins 2 out of the 3. I think. Let me just make sure.
Hell yeah.
'Cause
No.
Michael's not infallible.
I am not.
You remember that one? You remember?
They're primates.
You remember that
They're
one
primates.
scene in Bad Boys 2 where
They're
they
not-
go in to hunt the rats,
I mean-
right? And he's like, they're marsupials.
They're not
And-
marsupials.
Bro,
Friends ain't no stinking.
What's a
Yeah.
marsupial?
Friends ain't
I
got no
was
stinking
wrong.
colony.
bro.
Hold on. What's a marsupial?
A marsupial
is
an animal.
that puts their young in a pouch in the on. Yeah, like
That's not
they keep-
necessarily true.
I'm pretty
Not all
sure-
Why don't you
marsupials
just
do
ask
that.
Siri, bro? We talked about this.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, then why
like,
didn't you say it?
they
It's
carry
your,
you're the
their
one
I
who
young.
said
can't
that.
ask. You said it's voiced to your thing.
And,
right?
That's because it was locked.
and I don't trust
Oh.
it with that 1990s backpack
Hey Siri,
on
what
it.
are marsupials? Hey Siri, what are marsupials? Bitch.
Hey Siri, what are marsupials?
See? Right away. It's his.
According to wikibooks.org, marsupials are mammals in which the female typically has a pouch, called the marsupium,
Oh, you're right.
in which it rears its young through early infancy.
Is that it? That's
Whoop,
all they're
whoop.
about?
That's it.
I guess.
All right, Siri, fuck off.
All right.
All right, good call.
Well, G was right about
yeah,
that one.
All right, good call.
And I was wrong about lemurs. They were primates.
That is cool
Close
to know.
Not at all.
Because we're primates, aren't we?
No.
I think we're like
We're amphibians.
No.
Hey Siri, what are humans? Ask it.
I think we're part of the primate family.
Yeah, we are definitely
Ask the
primates.
fucking question,
Hey
Mark.
Siri, what are humans?
Humans are a species of highly intelligent primates. They are the only extant members of the subtribe Hominina, and together with chimpanzees,
We're
gorillas,
dope.
and orangutans.
Yeah.
We're the only one.
Family hominidae.
Yeah,
We're like a
Hominin.
branch.
literally
that
the
no one
smartest
else
one.
got.
The one branch. The one.
We're the king.
the one random one. That
How do you feel about that? Like, we all preach equal rights among humans, but what about the animals, guys?
Fuck them. They don't. They're not sentient.
We
are
eat
at
them.
we are at the top
So that's how you
of
feel.
the evolutionary.
You just kind of like separate yourself emotionally from all them.
not tech. No,
Bro,
not
I feel
completely
worse for
emotionally.
animals than humans sometimes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, their lives are a lot harder.
Human has to look really pitiful, bro.
But think about it
Never
this way, man.
For me to give a
Ever
shit.
throughout the day do I
Or
think,
if I
man, it
don't
would
know
suck to be an animal.
So you can't watch those.
Talking about
You
like
can't-
a
Well, they
stray
have
cat
a lot
or a
less
dog.
You
responsibility,
can't watch
though.
those sad dog commercials where they play the.
I can, but
I fucking laugh my ass off.
why? It's like fucking dogs that
bro.
are
Like,
being beaten.
in
You
my
like
head,
that? You're
no.
like, you guys are all advocating people to beat their dogs. Right
No.
now.
No.
This is what you're at.
No,
I just think
no
because
one said
it's
that.
no one said that.
Chill,
I'm gonna
dude.
mute you guys on the thing. And then
Even I didn't say that. No, what
they
I
all
was saying
said- they
is
all said it.
what I'm saying is whenever I see that commercial, like either two scenarios go on in my head, and it has to do with music, and they both make me laugh. No, like I'll sing that song that like it's a mad world, like in my
I don't think
head,
they ever play. What's wrong with you?
or then I'll
All
sing
familiar faces,
worn out places. And it just makes me laugh for some reason because somebody's being so intrusive to try to like make you feel sad for these dogs, and the dog could just be looking sad because why don't you give me that cookie right now? You know, like that dog is obviously on camera. He's probably doing okay. I'm not on camera, All right.
You know where
And
they
I'm not
get
doing
you.
all right.
They get you.
For only 13
Man,
cents.
when they got the one with the bug eyes and this one is all closed and fucked up and that's how they
That's
get
gonna be
you.
your grandma if you don't stop talking
That's why
about
you
those
play.
dogs, bro.
Friend's
That's why
sister
you
had a
play
Pomeranian
anything
like that.
hardcore, like System of a Down. You know, like play Deer Dance during that fucking video, and you're just like,
What the
Into
fuck?
the fire.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
That's what I do,
terrible.
and I laugh my ass off. I can endure.
I think about, and I know he's not very prominent anymore, but a Dane Cook joke when it was about those infomercials but it wasn't about the animals. It was about kids in Africa or something. You know, like
shit.
starving kids.
They don't even do those anymore.
They
I
don't.
think.
They don't. Well, they do them like
Thank God.
online, but they don't put it on TV much anymore. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. I guess we stopped giving a fuck. But
Well,
anyway,
it's tough to watch.
it was Dane Cook, and you're like watching Will and Grace, the same episode you've seen like 80 times, and this commercial comes on. It's some sad guy and be like, hey, this is little Tuk Tuk. He won't get to eat for another weekend.
I remember that.
For only 13 cents, you can make sure his belly is full every night. He's like, they need to get rid of that guy. He's too nice. They need to get a guy, leather jacket, fuck his hair up a little bit, come in. Hey! Look at you watching this fucking episode of Will and Grace that you've seen 13 times? Will and fucking Grace. 13 cents, you piece of shit.
Give
Will
your
and
fucking
Grace.
money.
How the
He's
hell are
gay,
they
she's
feeding
sassy.
kids over there for fucking 13 cents though?
They add it all together. You
Oh
know,
yeah, it's
compound.
Africa, bro. Like the food's actually there, so they just need the money to get it from here to here.
Yeah, bro, because they have an oppressive thing going on over there. Like, there's like
The
some
U.S.
shit going
dollar.
on.
Bro, not even that.
Those
Exchange
kids
rate
look
and-
pitiful though. Like for 13 cents, you think they're feeding like
They give 'em those little
they have,
lead
like,
pads, dog.
flies and shit on.
They give 'em the
flying
lead-
around.
Hey, and guess what?
They need some infrastructure over there.
They elect their presidents over there.
Oh lord.
Those guys don't give a shit about their people.
Yeah.
They need to
They
get some
don't
irrigations.
give
Give
a
these people
fuck.
some water and at least some rice. Goddamn.
I only know this because my ex, like her father,
Is
worked.
from there?
No, he worked for Shell as a project engineer, and one of their main
Like dump oil
like
over there.
things is in Lagos,
Legos.
Nigeria.
So they make Legos in Nigeria.
No, that's
Shut
the
up.
name. Of the city. that's where the Lego factory is, guys.
That's where they're made from. Yep.
I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. I'm sure Mega Bloks is from there though.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's the capital, so I mean, it's got to be from there.
Mega Blocks.
Mega Bloks.
Well, you think that? Do you think like the Prime Minister of Lagos, whatever it is, like it's a country? It's like when Legos are created. What the fuck?
Why do they only have the ones that go down to 2?
I need the single one.
Single.
I have to build a monument of Legos out of Legos.
But
Oh
yeah.
my god, that was funny.
But yeah, he works over there.
Hey,
like
for like 2
6
seconds
weeks
though, I
on.
thought you were talking about Legos.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, those kids look so pitiful, bro.
Yeah,
Why
he
you
works
bringing it
over
back
there.
up to the sad shit? Cut it.
That shit was terrible.
Yeah, he works over there, and he's
Segue,
like,
you know.
Segway.
he's like
What's a
everything's
good segue?
hot.
You said, man, those kids are pitiful. Well, you know what else is pitiful?
Mark, because he's
Yeah,
not
he's
here. Because he's not here.
We should
Yeah,
all
he's
just
always different.
roast Mark while he's not here.
Yeah, that should be a thing, shouldn't it?
I like his haircut.
It looks.
That's not a
pretty-
roast, sir.
I
You
think
should be like, what's up with his jacket?
That's
like,
all, bro.
what's
You took
up
it
with
from
that?
me, man.
Like,
I'm like, hey, my grandfather
Okay.
called from
I
the
feel it, I
dead.
feel it.
He wants his polyester
Alright.
jacket back,
Okay.
please.
All right, his teeth are really white.
sir.
That's
What?
insulting. I wish my
No.
teeth were as white as his. Because I
His
smoke.
ears are way too small.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
That's-
don't know if you've
that's
ever
good.
noticed.
And he,
Like-
Seems like his skin is really smooth too.
and he tucks his shirt in for no. Oh, never mind.
Hey, sir. How are
Hey,
you?
buddy.
Wearing a
How's it
hat
going?
with a blazer. The fuck are you, Tom Cruise?
I love tucking my shirt in. My heroes are Urkel and Carlton.
Oh, that's good.
Then why aren't you
That's
wearing suspenders and glasses?
He probably has a whole fucking set, like
And
a whole
Ashley-
But
rack.
are they
Yeah,
on the
I
same
knew
level
that.
though? Like, or is it Urkel Carlton?
I feel like
Urkel,
Carlton Urkel because that dance.
Good question. No,
It's
Urkel.
more Carlton.
Carlton.
No, because he's more of the dream. Like, I wish I was that rich.
They're
But
both one-hit
Urkel
wonders.
I more relate to because my parents weren't really around like that.
bro.
But do you have dual personalities like Urkel?
Urkel always
dual.
had the house to himself, bro. Like,
You don't understand.
'Cause he's
My mom
Stefan
would
Urkel.
travel. Like my dad.
You don't remember that episode?
Died early,
I
so
haven't
like
seen
no one was
that
ever
show
at my
since I was a
house,
kid,
and she
bro.
would always be like, "No one can come over," and I'm like, "You do know I'm about to leave, right? Like I'm not gonna be here."
not even gonna be.
My mom was always at work because my mom was a single mother and she worked at Dave and Buster's as a waitress, so she would never be home. So I would always just have the house to myself.
My mom was always at home because she was a housewife and did nothing. And so I would escape the house or just go to another friend's house who had a parent that wasn't there, or a parent that was cool and allowed us to do bullshit there.
Smart.
My mom worked like 2 jobs, so I was kind of a latchkey kid. Like,
Oh.
Yeah, that's the
come
word I was
home.
I was trying to
Latchkey
find.
kid.
Yeah, I would come home,
That's what you call
unlock the
it.
door on my own. Be
Our door
home
wouldn't even be
and do
locked. I'd just
things,
walk
like-
in.
No. We had to lock because it was just me and my little sister.
Oh.
It was just me and my mom.
I'm sorry, not me and my little sister. It was me and my big sister. My little sister was actually given up for adoption when we were like 3. When I was 3.
Mm.
So like, we grew up together, but not together.
You know your little sister that was given up?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
You've not heard the story.
No.
Okay. So, how me and Garrett met was because me and his sister that he's talking about were friends.
No
Technically,
shit.
that's not how we met. That's how we found out that
Yeah.
y'all had like this weird kind of history. We met, bro, from Magic, nigga. Like, me and London was playing Magic.
Get out.
And you walked up to the table and you were like, "What y'all doing?"
I feel like so.
Like,
Classic Mark.
So yes, I remember that. I remember the apartments he's talking about on Tanglewood. But like somewhere in there, because of the neighborhood you lived in, she lived in, and I lived in, we met.
No. We all lived. All right, y'all. This is crazy.
Hey, I'm all ears, bro.
Insane.
I want to hear
Proximity.
My family lived in this house
Uh-huh.
on the end of the street.
This. Okay.
His family lived on this house at the end of the same street. My little sister lived in this house at like in the middle of the neighborhood. Like, so we were all like
There
in
in
the
Third
same
Ward.
neighborhood.
That was adopted, that
Yes.
you haven't had any contact
no,
with.
no. That was an open adoption.
Okay, what's an open adoption? Like where you
So
know the
there-
parents
there,
and...
there are 2 types of adoptions.
Okay.
There are open adoptions
Uh-huh.
in which the family that gives the child up for adoption can still have contact with the
Get
kid.
out of here. I didn't know that existed.
And then there are
Really? I
closed
didn't-
adoptions where you give the child up and then that's it.
you give your rights up to the child.
So in this case, my parents have power of attorney over me. So I was given up for adoption with the consent of the parent to be allowed to.
You were
visit
given up
me.
for adoption?
Yeah, crazy, huh?
You're lying.
Crazy.
Your mom that's your mom is not actually your real
It's
mom.
not actually, my mom was
What?
addicted to drugs, pregnant with all. She was an alcoholic, doing drugs with all of us, my 2 brothers included, and we're twins. We're all twins, healthy.
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
So it's like.
And y'all are all still together.
So
and
yeah,
everything.
well, they went through foster care. I grew up with a completely different
Hey, I've
family.
been
from
through
them.
foster care too.
I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't get to know
Only for a
them
little
until
bit.
I was like my 10th birthday. My mom tells me, and I'm like, "What the? You're lying."
Wow.
I meet them for the first time, and I'm like, "How are you like me?" Like,
So when you were a baby, you got given up.
Mhm.
Oh my
and
god,
then you
months
meet your
old.
siblings when you're 10.
Yeah.
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
crazy, yeah, but
That
that's
makes
how
sense.
I knew the
that makes
difference.
sense why your upbringing was the way it was.
Well, seeing
Good.
my
You
mom
had a good
and not
upbringing.
knowing she was my mom freaks me out to this day.
Yeah.
You know, because at some point I feel like, well, are you praying on me? Are you prying on me? Are you waiting for the right time to make you look good, or
Correct.
see when I understand
Understood.
what you did and how you are? Because she's still like this to the day. To this day she will call us drunk, and we'll have no clue what she wants, needs, or
Your
if
real
she's
mom.
comprehensive.
Your real mom.
my real mom. I think she's met all of our kids.
Let's not say
once.
it that way. Let's say birth.
Birth mother.
My
Your
biological
biological
mother.
mother. Yes.
It's taken me
'Cause
forever to
there's
get
a
it.
difference.
There's a
Yeah.
difference. Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
there's
right.
difference.
You're absolutely
True.
right.
Yeah.
You're
My
absolutely
mom
right.
luckily got her shit together. Like, you know, when I was like, I never like got given up for adoption because I got taken away when I was like, I don't remember the age. I was very young, and my sisters were young too. I'm like I have 2 sisters, and they're both, one's 2 years, like a year and a half, 2 years younger than me, and the other one's like 3 years younger than me or something. We all got taken away at the same time. They went to live with their dads. My dad was a crackhead, so he was off the grid. So I went to live with my grandparents, my dad's mom, and my grandpa, who's not my biological grandfather. He just got married to my grandma when my dad was really young. So he had been my grandpa since I was a baby. So
But you like this. You
I liked living with them, but they were really old school. We lived in a trailer. Fucking every time I got a haircut, it was just shaved head, like, and or a fade, or a fade. I got fucking just a regular old, but I lived with them for a little while. I was in foster care, I think, before, because my grandparents weren't quite ready to like take on another kid. Because my other two cousins, that they lived with them. Because my aunt Daphne, who was the sister of my dad, but like half sister, because my grandpa, who's not my real grandpa, is the father of her. But Neil is my real grandpa, the father of my dad, Neil Ailing,
Gotcha.
who I get my last name from. There's a bunch of other ones, and I don't really have contact with that side of the family at all. But yeah, I was only in foster care for a couple months, but it was cool. People that had the light turned off. The hell?
I don't think it ever was on.
Was it not on?
I'm talking about a dim subject. That's right.
Anyway, anyone that adopts or has like fosters kids, they have money and
I've always
the
thought
needs
about
to
adopting.
like treat the kids good. We went to Chuck E. Cheese a bunch. Like, it was super cool. They were really friendly. I had like a foster brother.
I'm
We had
sure
bunk
you have to
beds.
be financially stable to be.
Yeah, I think that's a requirement, right?
My
More than that.
My little sister's adoptive parents. Her mom was a lawyer. No. Her mom was a doctor, and her dad is a lawyer.
I think it was on because I just saw it like flash off.
So yeah, she lived a really good life, and that's what my mom wanted. You know, like
Good.
she listen. My mom personally has always been a single mom. She's never had a whole bunch of means to, to provide for us. She actually told me that when I was born, she thought about giving me up for adoption as well. Yeah, it did switch off, Jordan.
Yeah, it just did
It's
again.
weird. Maybe it got too hot. That doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, she thought about giving me up for adoption, but she said she had a dream one night, like while she was in the hospital, and like she dreamt of me doing good things in the world or something like that, and she decided that she was just gonna keep me. Like I almost had a different name. She told me my name was almost Reese. Yeah, I was like,
I could not see.
Man, I honestly don't even like my actual name.
Garrett's a good name.
I don't really like it.
Your current one?
It's just a mouthful to me, like Garrett. Like, it's
It's
just
not that bad.
I think it's badass. You're like one.
Garrett.
You're like
You're only
one,
2 syllables.
and you're one letter
You
away
only
from
want
being
one. You
Gerald.
wanna be-
Like, come on, bro. It sounds like.
that's true.
I think your name.
It's a good name.
I think your name is a good name. It's a strong
I was gonna be
name.
Brian.
That's why you think it's a mouthful, because it's a strong name, like William.
Yeah.
Jordan's a strong name.
Michael's also strong.
Michael is in there.
Biblical,
Like, it's a biblical
Jordan's the name of a country
And a river.
and
in
a
the country.
and
right?
a tribe,
Of what?
like the Old Testament, bro.
Have you ever
the
looked
Jews.
into like what your name means?
Yeah, Jordan means like prince or something, like English, Old English.
It's
or...
your name is a Hebrew name as well.
Oh no, to flow down.
What does
River
your name mean?
to flow.
Mine means actually one who is like God.
My name means strong with shield and sword.
Makes sense.
Nice.
Because there's a Garrett that's an archangel.
My last name means necklace. My,
He just comes in hot.
I don't think I even know your last name.
and my
Collier.
Collier.
Mm-hmm.
Collier.
the story behind my
That's
first and
Collier.
middle name is I'm named
Mark
after
Collier.
Collier.
my father.
Marcus Collier.
Never met the guy.
Marcus Collier.
I've met
good
his
name.
grandmother, and supposedly he died from an aneurysm on the ranch that they own. And the only time I was able to visit her was when I went on a trip with 2 friends of mine. One's an ex, and we went to South Padre, and she has land there. She has like an orchard, and she was telling me this stuff. But majority of the time she's like speaking Spanish. She's like praying over us, and she's saying all of these things that
she's doing Santeria over you, bro.
You know what I mean? Like things you recognize later as Blessed Father and like holy prayers and words and stuff like that. So it's like, dang.
Oh, she's one of those. Yeah.
She was old at the time. I don't even know how to. You know what I'm saying? Really deep dive into it. But she says we're named after. It's like the name of the first son down, so it's passed down. Marcos Cortés.
And where do they descend from?
France.
She said they were colonizers.
Yeah, it could have been England, Spain, France.
I would love to send my DNA to get tested.
G has a nice strong name. Total. Like I know your last name because
Garrett Emerson Vonner.
Mine's Jordan Wesley Ailing.
That's a good name.
Mine's just Michael Ramirez.
You don't have a middle name?
Is no middle name. In fact, the story.
That's weird.
Well, from my family, for 9 generations, every male with the last name Ramirez does not have a middle name, which
that's pretty dope. Actually,
is reverse because I'm from Mexico. Like my heritage is from Mexico and then Spain, but in Mexico, everybody has a fucking middle name.
You have two middle names.
Yeah, you have two.
You have your regular middle name and your Christian middle, or your Catholic middle name, right? And then you'd have your surname. And then the women have to take on your surname, so then they end up having like 5 fucking names.
Right, which is why the jokes about them having a billion fucking names.
Yeah, because the women will have 2 middle names too. The same.
Two middle names, 2 last names, and a first name.
Exactly.
So full name, and no one ever says it. So I always go
what
by
is this,
my
Princess Bride?
nickname.
Goddamn.
So I always laugh.
Carmanita, Juanita.
Carmanita, Juanita, que
Marcos Cortés Collier.
De Cortés.
So you've heard it here. No one ever calls me
Cortés Collier. But
I like Cortés from now on.
Marcos.
I liked
Marcos.
the Collier. Like that's like
Collier.
Type
That's
of
a
deal.
good name.
Cortés Collier.
don't even know
Cortés
what the-
Collier.
I think I looked up what my last name means, but
I haven't done that. I've never looked up
Cool.
my
I
last
actually
name.
looked into it, but I've forgotten. I couldn't recall it right now.
Vonner sounds like a colonial name.
I figured out how I got my name.
oh yeah, that's what it was. My last name is Prince or
So
Noble.
when I was when I was younger,
Dope.
my mom did one of those genealogy
Hell yeah.
tests. So we actually did. We went to the library and did research and found old census clippings. And
You did the actual
Bro,
old school
we
test.
We did all kinds of research, and it found out that I have an ancestor. His name is Sieb Varner, and
Varner.
No, it's
Sieb?
Sieb
SIEB
Sebe.
Okay.
Sieb
Sieb.
Varner.
sounds like a Star
Varner.
Wars name.
Varner.
That sounds German. Varner.
Sieb.
Varner.
Okay.
So, what we think, like we're not exactly sure, but what we think how it transitioned into Varner is he probably got his slave name, right? Like
Correct.
Varner. He went to school not knowing how to spell it, and whoever taught him or whoever how to spelled it the German way, with however they knew how to spell.
Yeah, that happened a lot. Yeah.
Right. So that's I'm just, and that's just, this is just conjecture. I'm not completely sure.
Understood.
But that's what we believe happened.
Yeah.
It just kind of evolved because we have relatives named Varner as well.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Like I know people that are studying their own ancestry line, and they're looking back, and it depends on when their name comes across the pond or at certain periods of America. Like pre-Civil War, post-Civil War, pre-French War, then World War. Like even up into the 20th century, where World War I and World War II, even soldiers that went across, when they came back, their names had changed, type of deal. Especially African American soldiers, or you can just call them, African soldiers, because they weren't classified as anything yet. But when they came back, they were granted rights, freedom, and they would probably, if they didn't like their name, their last name, they changed it. And you would see that documented, and it's tough to dig up. It's crazy that you were able to dig up that history, because
we did a lot of research.
Because that's not the whole fucking 23 and fucking me thing where you send your DNA off to somebody and says you're this percentage, this percentage, this percentage. Finding your history is exactly that, tracing people back with the last names and reading ledgers and like looking at census documents, because those were all handwritten, especially before 1950. Everything's handwritten. And so it's incredible you were able to discover that history, especially going back as far as you did. That's cool.
The first of my line. Like that's what Sebe was, the first of my line.
Nice.
In America, at least.
In America.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's super cool. That is super cool. Like, y'all blew my mind tonight. I did not know that was y'all's history and background. I have much, like, not like I didn't respect y'all before, but
I have more respect
like,
for you now because I know you were adopted. I'm just playing.
Yeah, man, y'all know.
Not even that is-
It's not something that always comes up in conversation. So it's like, okay, ongoing life. You never met my mom, so
Yeah.
one mom is enough for you.
But see, like, I like how G put it too. It's like, it's not like when we made the point, like biological mother, and it's like, it's how you would consider what your mother is. Like, even though I personally was raised by my mother, I actually have somebody that was like I said, like, I don't come from this background. My parents were always together, but it was more or less like constant fighting, like, and then constant religion. So the religion
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, the
Sounds like
religion
grandparents.
like split the fighting, and it was like a wool that you pulled over they tried to pull over my eyes as I was a kid. And it wasn't until I started growing up and getting like into high school, even though I was rebelling like a motherfucker, but I was like tuning into like, hey, shit is actually not all copacetic as it should be at home, you know. And there's two different lines going on, and then my mother had like my youngest brother, and then all this other crazy shit happened. But I still come from where my parents still to this day are together, and they survived it and they made it. But like growing up, it wasn't easy, and I always ran away because I wasn't happy with how I was felt or how I was treated at home. And I wanted to live in real houses where I was like, hey, I'm welcome here, and like you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Just come in and you're treated part of the family and blah blah. So I have like an adopted mother, and then she will always be a part of my life. So I can understand that, and how I would be like, I still have my mom, but maybe there's all this that I'm going to therapy for, like hidden resentment and all that stuff. But I still, like, that's what made me understand what your point was whenever you were like, hey, there's two different things. And it was like, yeah, because y'all's story, like I said, it shocked and touched me, and I didn't think it was that, and it made me understand you even more. And I appreciate you for sharing it with everybody, because that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do.
Put on some sentimental music right
Yeah, that's what we need.
Our God is an awesome God. All right, guys, let's end the podcast on a note. Mark is gone, so he's not going to get to say bye this week.
Yeah, we could roast him.
Peace out,
next week.
guys.
G-Vine, back in effect. We will see y'all next week.
I'm going to try to roast him again. I like his shoes.
They are nice.